guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So I'm coming at y'all today with a foundation review. Today we are going to be testing out the newest foundation from Fenty, the Soft'lit Naturally Luminous Longwear Foundation. So if you are interested in hearing my thoughts and seeing this wear test, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, so my brows are already done, my eyes are already done. On the eyes, I used my Artist Couture Supreme Nudes eyeshadow palette for just a quick everyday kind of matte look. I have my Sephora collection lashes on in the style Charming, and on my lips right now I have the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. This is the scent Pink Sugar. I will have everything that I use on my eyes today linked down below, including like the brow pencil and everything. Before I jump into the foundation from Fenty, I am going to prime my skin. I'm going to use the Caliray So Blown primer. I've been really enjoying this primer lately. It's kind of like a hydrating but like a blurring primer as well, and it's very long wearing. Okay you guys, so while my primer is sitting, let me tell you guys a little bit about this foundation, and then I'll show you the packaging and compare it to like the old packaging from Fenty. So this is the newest foundation from Fenty. This is the Soft'lit Naturally Luminous Hydrating Longwear Foundation. This retails for $40 and comes in 50 shades. Y'all know Fenty's always going to give us a good shade range. This is supposed to be a hydrating and glowy foundation that is waterproof but also reduces shine. I'm not sure how it's going to do both. It is supposed to be a medium coverage foundation with a natural finish, and it is supposed to be a long wearing foundation. We're going to test that out today. I really want to do a wear test for you guys. It's almost 1 o'clock, so let's see how long I can keep this foundation on for you guys today. I picked up the shade number 430, and as much as I love that Fenty gives us 50 shades, I'm not going to lie, it's very hard to choose my shade. I went in store and I was able to swatch a few shades. I swatched the shade 420 and 430 and 425. Usually with Fenty foundations, I'm always between 420 or 430, and over the years they did add more shades, and they added a shade number 425, but after swatching the shade 425, I still don't think that is my shade just because of the undertone. 420 has a warm golden undertone. 430 also has a warm golden undertone, but the shade of 425 has a warm olive undertone. And if there's one thing with Fenty, you're going to get that undertone. So I feel like 425, even though I think it would have been a better shade, it is a little bit too olivey. So I don't know if it was just my skin, it was just coming off a little bit too green. So I decided to just go with the shade 430 and hope for the best. So I'm going to compare the packaging to the old Fenty packaging, because another thing that happened when I went in store, I had a hard time finding this foundation just because the package looks so similar to the other foundation from Fenty, but it's actually pretty different. This is the new packaging for the foundation, and this is the old Fenty foundation, and as you can see, the shape of the bottle is a little bit different, but not that different. It's still a bit hard to tell them apart. I think it would have been better if this was probably like a matte cap, or if the cap had a different color, or just something else so it's easy to tell them apart. If you look really closely, you can tell them apart. As I said, I got this one in the shade 430, and I have my old Fenty in the shade 420. It's just confusing, you guys. So what I am going to do is I'm going to apply the foundation to one side of my face with a brush, and then on the other side I'm going to apply with a sponge, so you can see how the foundation applies and how much coverage we're going to get. I don't want to do too much talking because I want to do a wear test for you guys, and it's already 1 o'clock. Let me just do a quick swatch on my chest with the foundation. I'm going to swatch the new foundation on my chest, which is the shade 430, and I feel like it's pulling a little bit red, and I'm going to swatch the old Fenty foundation in 420 so y'all can see what they look like side by side. This right here is the shade 420. As you can see, there is a shade jump. I wish I had a sample of 425 so y'all would see what I'm talking about, but my store does not do samples anymore. But there's a clear difference between 425 because it's so olive, so as much as the shade would have worked, it's just a little bit too green. So hopefully 430 works for us today. I'm not going to go in with too much foundation. I'm going to apply about this much, and I'm going to apply it to this side of my face with a brush. The brush that I'm using is the 106 brush from BK. And this looks so orange. Oh my god, this looks very, very orange. Oh god, I hope this looks better once I apply concealer. This is what it looks like applied with the brush. I feel like the undertone is a little bit too orange, but I feel like I can make it work. I think this shade would have been perfect if it was like a neutral undertone. I love a good neutral foundation. This is pulling a little bit orange, but I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's going to be too bad once I apply concealer and everything else on top of it. The finish of this foundation isn't as hydrating as I expected. It isn't matte. It's like a good like in between. For me, one of my favorite things to do with the Fenty foundation is I love to mix the matte formula with the discontinued hydrating formula, and that was like my perfect finish from Fenty, and I think that is kind of what I'm getting right here. So it's not too matte, it's not too hydrating, it's like the perfect in between. I don't think it is as hydrating as like the House Labs foundation. It's giving a really nice radiant, nice luminous finish, but not too much. So going into summer, I don't think this is one that is going to slip on side or be too hydrating for summertime. It looks really good. Let me know what you guys think of the finish of this foundation. So far, the only thing that I would change is the undertone. I wish it was a little bit more neutral, but I just know that once I apply my concealer, it's going to look a lot better. But this is what it looks like applied with the brush, and I must say I'm getting a decent medium coverage, not super full, but like medium. I'm still seeing a little bit of, you know, marks peeking through, but everything looks pretty even. And then to blend the foundation on this side of my face, I am going to be using a sponge. This one is from Juno. This is a microfiber sponge, so it doesn't soak up as much product. And I'm going to go in with about the same amount of foundation, so about this much, and let's see how much coverage I'm going to get. I have a little scar on my face right here, so hopefully this will cover it. Once again, I know it looks red, but once you blend it out, like, it looks pretty good. So with a sponge, I do need a little bit more product, because as you can see, that pretty much only covered this area of my face. It didn't cover the other half of my forehead. So I'm just going to add a little bit more on my forehead and then blend that in. This is what the foundation is looking like. I love the finish of this foundation. It low-key kind of reminds me of the NARS Radiant Longwear foundation. Just the NARS is a little bit more hydrating, sort of kind of like if the NARS Radiant Longwear foundation and Makeup by Mario probably was supposed to have a baby. This is kind of what it's giving. I really like the finish. I'm glad that it's not super hydrating, because we're going into summer. I think this is going to be a good foundation, and this seems like one that would probably be like good all year round. But this is what the foundation is looking like. Once again, this is the side with the brush, and then this is the side with the sponge. I feel like I got a little more coverage with the brush, but overall I feel like it looks pretty much the same. Right here, my little scar, you can still see it peeking through the foundation, but nothing too crazy. Once I go in with concealer, I'm good to go. I think it looks really nice. So it's going to be a matter of preference. I think in terms of like overall smoothness on my skin, the sponge side looks a little bit smoother, but for the most part it looks pretty much the same. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just going to pass over my entire face with a sponge, just so everything looks even, because as I said, the sponge side just looks a tad bit smoother than the side with the brush. I'm going to go in with some concealer. I'm using my House Labs concealer in the shade 41 medium. And I'm going to add some of the Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 400. Which is more of like a neutral shade, but it's also going to brighten the under eyes. And I'm going to let this sit for a bit while I cream bronze with the LYS cream bronzer in the shade Strength. I'm going to blend my concealer with this sponge from Sephora collection. Okay, you guys, so this is what the face is looking like after applying concealer on top of that foundation. As I said, you can't really see the redness no more. The bronzer and the concealer just does the trick. This looks beautiful, you guys. Like, before going in with powder, I'm looking at my face right now in the mirror and it looks so nice. The finish is gorgeous, not too matte, not too hydrating, like the perfect in between. I'm going to set my face for you guys and then I'll do the rest of my face off camera because I want to do that wear test. So I'm going to set with the Givenchy Prism Libra powder. I'm still gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury on a powder puff. I went in with a little bit too much of the Givenchy, but it still looks good. I'm still using my Charlotte Tilbury just a little bit. I'm going to press that in just to brighten my under eyes. And then I'll blend it out after. Alright, y'all, so this is what the face is looking like after setting with my powders. It looks really good. I'm going to finish the rest of my face off camera and then let y'all know what I think so we can jump into this wear test. Alright, you guys, so this is the finished look. I went in with a little bit of blush, did my lower lash line and added a lip combo. I will have everything that I used on my face linked down below for you guys. But right now it is 1:36 and I want to do that wear test for you guys, and I also want to upload this video today, so I'm not going to do a super long wear test. I'll probably keep the foundation on for like 3-4 hours and then come back, let y'all know what I think about the foundation so I can upload today. But then I'll keep the face on for the rest of the day so we can talk about it in the comment section. I'm going to jump off camera and then come back later on and let y'all know my final thoughts on the foundation. But so far I really like the finish. As I said before, it's not a super hydrating foundation. It's not even as hydrating as my House Labs. It's like a good in between. If you used to mix that Fenty hydrating foundation with the matte foundation, that is kind of what I'm getting with a little less coverage, so it's not as full coverage. It is going to be a good everyday foundation, but let's just see how it wears. I'll be right back to give you guys my final thoughts, but so far it's pretty good. Alright, you guys, I'm back and it is now 5:38, which means I've been wearing this foundation for a few hours, and I must say so far it is holding up really nicely. I did eat and I'm not seeing a bunch of creasing here. I am seeing a little bit of oiliness like on the nose and like right above my brow, which is nothing out of the ordinary. I feel like the foundation held up really nicely because, y'all, I've been outside, I've been filming, and it still looks really good to me. The foundation looks lived in, kind of like I've been wearing my makeup for a while. It looks like, you know, when your makeup is settling in, that's how it looks on the face right now. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. I think this is going to be a great foundation going into summer. If you prefer a hydrating foundation but you still want something that is not going to slip and slide, I think it's a great foundation. As I said, it is to me like a mixture of the Makeup by Mario foundation with the NARS Radiant Longwear foundation. So it's not super hydrating, it's not super matte, it just gives a really nice radiant your skin but better kind of finish with a decent medium coverage. It's not full coverage at all, so you'll have to make up for coverage with your concealer if you prefer a more full coverage foundation. But so far I will give this foundation maybe an 8.5 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, only because the undertone. I think the price is good, the shade range is good. I just wish this was a neutral undertone. The finish look looks really good. What I would say is if you're going to use this foundation, being that it's more on the warm side, I would go in with like a more neutral concealer, a more neutral, you know, go for products that are a little bit more neutral to even it out, because right now it looks good, but on first application it just looks a little bit too red. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if you are going to pick this up. Everything that I used on my face I will have linked down below for you guys. By the way, I did not touch up my face at all. The only thing that I did was reapply my lip because, as I said, I did eat. But in terms of touching up for the past few hours, I did not touch up at all. I can touch up right now. So just gonna take a little bit off the Charlotte Tilbury powder on a powder puff, press it off. I don't go in with too much. I kind of press it off and then just press that on the areas that I feel like are a little bit too oily, and then go over the brows. And I feel like just by doing that, the face looks perfect again. That oiliness from my nose is gone. If I was supposed to use this on a regular day, once I get to that 4 hour, 5 hour mark, that's when I usually touch up. And I think for that 4 hour mark, it looks beautiful after touching up. Nothing looks cakey, nothing is lifting. I usually crease right here around my nose, like my foundation will start separating around my nose hair, but for this one, nothing is separating. Like, it looks real good, you guys. I really do like this foundation. And just a tiny bit of powder, you don't need a lot. Go over and you're good to go. All in all, I think Fenty is doing a great job with this undercover rebrand that they have going on. I think they did a great job with the skin tint stick, the liquid, the new concealer, and then now this foundation. They've been doing a really good job at creating products that are good for like all skin types. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys found it helpful. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section down below, because as I said, I'm going to keep the foundation on. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.